Hi, welcome to my journey. Oh, deciding to get out again for a little while. Um, yes, last night traumatized me going out. Everything was going good, right? And then that last order, oh my God, and not having a virtual card, right? And then forgetting how easy it was just to download a virtual card because I was thinking that I had to try to retrieve the virtual card that I previously owned on my other phone, right? Me no sabi we could get a new virtual card. But anyway, uh yeah, so I ended up, you know, using my own funds, you know, trying to figure out will I get paid back? Am I gonna have to go some weird ass dispute session with them? And it's hard because you can't get a hold of no one. You can't get a hold of no one to help you out with what you really need to do, right? Well, today I've already had my protein shake. Um, of course, with the fiber, the collagen, and the creatine, right? I already did my lightweight exercises and I already walked a mile on the treadmill. I'm not going to sit up here and, put, my hopes in the fact that the senior center will be open today, right? Because if I go there thinking I'm going to go work out, you know, that just might give me the excuse that I need to not do a workout. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. Hold on. Okay, let's go. Whew, damn it. I was sure hoping that it wasn't an issue with these tires. Okay? I inflated another tire today, but my light is still on, so I have one more tire that I have to inflate. And I'll do that when I get home. Okay? It's just hard to reach because of the way I was parked. I'm going to see if I can go to the Texas Coalition and pick up the second half of the heartworm medicine for Gracie baby, my pitty. Yes, because it just doesn't seem like I should have to bring her in. If it's just a pill, right? If it's just a pill, why do I have to bring her in? Okay, I shouldn't have to bring her in. But we'll see. Because I believe it's just a $5 pill. And it's been about 3 weeks, so that was one of the saddest things. When I went to the shelter and there were some dogs there that was looking for adoption, right? And they had to educate me on what it meant, when a dog has heartworms, right? And they were saying that even with maybe $1,000 of treatment trying to get rid of the heartworms, the dog could die anyway. And I was like, are you serious? And they were like, yes. So yeah, because there was a dog I had thought about adopting, right? and the dog had heartworms. And, you know, and when they educated me on that, you know, I was like, well, ooh, that's sad, you know. So let me go and see if I can go pick up a heartworm pill from the Texas Coalition. Hopefully they're open. You know, I know they have certain times that they give out shots, but I'm going to see, you know, are those the only times that they're open? Is that the only time that they're open? Let's see. Let's go find out. Okay. Ooh, that's bumpy. Yeah, this Planet Fitness closed down. Yep, they closed down. And they just recently opened up because that used to be LA Fitness down here. And LA Fitness moved up there to a location off of the freeway. What is going on here? So let's see. Let me see. Yeah. So they say they have vaccination hours, but you know, they're also a vet as far as I know. As far as I know. Hold on. Okay. So they weren't open. However, they said that since Gracie was such a baby puppy, right? Because they only gave me a half dosage for the heartworm medication. They want to be able to weigh her, right? They said because the puppies grow so fast, right? And I'm like, well, I think she's about 30 pounds now. So yeah, if she's a 30-pounder and they have to give her a whole heart pill, then so be it, right? Or they just have to give me 2 heart pills for $5 and $10, so be it. But anyway, they want to weigh her first. And they, thank God, we won't have to wait. We won't have to wait in line, because the line at Texas Coalition is horrific. Go ahead, dude. You can go ahead because you're like racing. You fast. You fast, dude. Yeah, you do that California roll stop. So, at least I checked, right? And I got a harness and a leash for her, so that's not going to be a problem, okay? It is not going to be a problem. I love these Texas skies. Oh my God. Look at these Texas skies. It is just absolutely blue. Absolutely blue. Okay? And the temperatures is in the 50s, right? We are not suffering the 30s, the 40s. We're in the 50s. Yes, yes, yes. Oh yeah, and shout out to DoorDash. DoorDash had me cracking up, right? She was talking about how she went from, you know, picking at Amazon to going to Amazon Flex, right, where she's delivering packages. And she was talking about how she encountered like about 15 dogs, and she actually filmed one dog, and it was a whole show. I'm telling you, it was a whole show. I was able to watch that while I was walking on the treadmill, busting up laughing. Before I knew it, you know, I had already finished my mile. So yeah. And she telling people that, you know, if you struggling, you know, and you got a car and you can move around, and, you know, you might want to try to get on Amazon Flex. But she cracked me up. Then she showed how she ran into a whole flock of sheep. in the road blocking her. Like, what the hell? And she said, see there, it could be an adventure. Don't write off Amazon Flex. Now, Amazon Flex can be both in the warehouse and delivery. It can be both. So you have to specify whether you're doing Amazon Flex for the warehouse, or are you doing Amazon Flex to deliver packages. Do-da-do. Do-da-do. But yeah, she was encountering the unforeseeable, right? And she had recorded it, you know, and that's funny because, you know, the whole thing is, you know, don't try to play me on my money. Don't you do it. You've been warned and advised. So I still haven't cut into the prime rib yet. I haven't cut into it yet. I probably need to do so soon, and then seal what I don't eat, boil the bones for some bone broth, get the doggy some bones, and then yeah. But yesterday, what I ended up doing was I ended up eating some protein noodles made of lentils, right? Some broccoli and spinach, right? And some cheese sauce, you know, homemade cheese sauce. Made some homemade cheese sauce. So it was like my version of macaroni and cheese. And of course, I had to put in a hot link just to make me happy. And oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. And high in protein. Had my vegetables, high in protein. But that's what I ate last night. You know, after my adventure, right? After my adventure, that's what I had. And it was so good, right? I did not want to struggle opening up this vacuum packed 13-pound rib roast and cutting it up, right? Even though I probably could have took my frustrations out on that, but I did not. I was chilling. I was like, you know, I just want an easy life. And when I went into my room and turned on my Christmas lights and had the lights flickering different colors, oh, my whole mood changed. I was happy. Oh, after I downloaded a virtual card so that incident that happened to me would never happen again. Okay, so I did download an Uber virtual card. So what that does is it will take the charges, hold them. When you send in the receipt, then they will give you that money back. Okay? But I had completely forgot about that procedure because most people, you know, they were sending QR codes, right? They were just sending the QR codes and, you know, it was paid. Because I think with the QR codes, they release it based off of approving the purchases. the other way without the QR codes, I guess Amazon determines. Oh no. Yeah, anyway, I'm starting to feel congested again. I do need to go and see if I can get some generic Sudafed, because this is awful. I did email my telemed services and showed them another picture, right? And I'm thinking that it's the same kind of medicine for respiratory, right? But his was only $44, right? The one that they had prescribed me with was $300, but with price check at Sam's, I got it for $100, okay? So I emailed them and told them, hey, I need to, have my my breathing medication have it, I need to re-up on it and have it filled. However, can you please, give me less expensive medicine? Man, I do appreciate the medicine that they gave me. Maybe because it was expensive, I felt relief like within minutes. And when you're not breathing, you want to feel relief within minutes. But if you got it kind of under control enough to where, you don't have to have the most potent medication on the market, maybe you can scale down to a less potent medication. This is awful. Can you hear my congestion? And I hear it in my speech. There are certain vowels, because of my congestion, it doesn't even come out. You can't even hear the vowels. You understand? And we used to play around when we was kids, right? Where, we wanted to sound nasal-ish, right? To see what it sounded like. And we would plug our nose and try to see, how different we sound, and, what vowels, we cannot say. Their client, you owe them money. Could be anybody. So I'm down here, trying to get some riding outside therapy. Yeah. Just so I can stay in touch with the world. Oh my God. Look at this sign. Look at this sign. Dang it. What does that sign say? It says y'all can shop for cars at Amazon now. Amazon Auto. Oh, Lord. But that makes sense, right? If you want people to use their vehicles to deliver your packages, it makes sense that you figure out a way, to offer them, vehicles, right? Kind of the same way Uber did. Uber's like, well, if you need a vehicle, you need to rent a vehicle, you need to buy a vehicle, let us know and we'll try to get you in a vehicle. Right? Now, I know y'all are probably wondering, well, if it's just that easy, how come I haven't rented a vehicle? Well, I haven't rented a vehicle yet because I'm on early retirement. If I work and make any kind of substantial money while I'm on early retirement, they will reduce it from my benefits, right? Because I'm not of retirement age. Okay? Now, I don't know if that will make it, if Trump is trying to make it to where, even the people who are already on retirement, early retirement, that, they have to suffer, right? The new 67, 69, however many years he's deciding, to make the new retirement age, right? If it's the same, that's one thing I'm going to have to find out. But if I'm on a grandfather situation because I got early retirement before they decided to up the age of retirement, right? Meaning that I should be able to still, be considered fully retired at 65. You understand what I'm saying? Everything has time parameters, right? And they should, right? And businesses even used to grandfather, contractual agreements, right? Until they got sneaky and tricky and slick, right? And then, society sort of backed them up on that slick shit, not realizing that, yeah, you shouldn't have let them, you shouldn't have backed them up on that slick shit. You shouldn't have did it. I mean, the last thing I had heard, I think France, they were protesting because their retirement age was being raised to 64. Something like that. And that was just last year. And I don't think China's changed. I think China still is 55. And the thing about China is most of them, they make it seem like China has longevity, right? That they're living into their 80s and 90s on a massive, level of their population. So to retire them at 55, I guess that's the reason why a lot of Chinese, go into entrepreneurship. I guess. I don't know. But it's beautiful down here. It's absolutely beautiful. Yes, it is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they're mulching the leaves. And that's what I was thinking about doing as soon as a few more leaves, fall off the tree. Just trying to mulch the leaves and then throwing them into the garden and burying them so that the ground back there will be given some type of more nutrients, because there's a lot of clay composition in the Texas earth. There's a lot of clay. There is. It just is. So what is today? Today is Wednesday. And it says it's 53 degrees. 3rd of December. She growing so fast. She looking like a real dog now instead of a puppy. Well, not quite, but she still looks like a puppy, but not like a baby puppy. She was kind of whining when she heard me getting ready to leave. Definitely have to go to the CVS and see if they could give me some of the under-the-counter Sudafed, the generic under-the-counter Sudafed. And I think that was like $10. I swear to God, they might as well even just get rid of the $1 bill, because nothing costs $1 anymore. It's like 5 or 10. And since they're getting rid of the 1 cent, they can't be talking about no more. They can't charge you in pennies no more. If you're gonna get rid of the penny, then they can't use the penny when they go about charging you, right? No more $1.99 a pound. No more $2.49 per gallon. It's got to be rounded numbers by 5s or 10s. We're going to go into CVS to see if we can get that under-the-counter allergy medication. Also ask if they have like under-the-counter inhalators, because the inhalator for $50 is not good. It's not cool with me. And the other medication for, even on sale for $100, is still not cool for me. So let's go in and take a look. I tell you what, it is so hard for me to go in the store and just get what I was intending on getting. Now I got this, right? It was $7.99 for 24 tablets. It says maximum strength. It's a CVS brand, okay? Now, I know CVS charges like $3 more, right, than say anybody else, right? But I got $2 off coupon, so I actually got this for $5.99. Okay, then they have 50% off of this Maybelline, right? This Maybelline normally costs damn near $17. You see this? $17. Okay? Then I got a coupon for $4 off. So I ended up getting it for like $4. So to me, this shopping trip was a win, even though I bought more than I was intending on buying. All right? So yeah, I'm pleased. And Maybelline is a good makeup product. It always has been a good product when it comes to makeup. It's just that after a while, you know, with everything going up, you know, the products that you like, you know, they end up going up so high that you can't buy them anymore because you just don't have the money. Because they just like they're going up. And here's another thing, right? When these companies are in the process of trying to save money, right? They're changing their products, right? They're changing the products. They're changing maybe the application. They're changing, you know, the whole composition sometimes of the product by leaving out, you know, expensive, you know, products. Like I was saying, right? The medicine, you know, when you try to replace, you know, a substitution, sometimes they don't always work. Now, the medicine that I have received, the inhalator, in my opinion, sucked. Maybe it was because of my condition, right? The expensive medication, the pre-COPD medicine, yes, that one worked good, right? It helped me to breathe within like a minute, right? However, like I said, you know, dilutions, you know, medicine that, you know, it's not as strong, or medicine substitutes, they don't always work the way, you know, you would hope they would. So I don't know, this may work similar to the one that I have bought before that kind of worked, right? But it was $10 for sure. The under the counter generic Sudafed, right? Plus, it took like about 15 minutes. But when I was just literally clogged up and unable to breathe, you know, if I had to wait 15 minutes, you know, to be breathable, I probably would have just died. I'm telling you, I would have just died. mucus was so thick and so yeah, it wasn't moving, it wasn't blowing out, it was clogging up my sinuses, it was clogging up my broncho tubes. It was horrible. It was just horrible. I'm telling you. It felt like somebody just put my whole head underwater and I couldn't breathe. That's how it felt. Or somebody put a bag over my head and suffocated me. That's how it felt. I felt like I was suffocating and was going to die. So I'm going to try this and see how this works while I'm waiting on a reply back from a doctor, to see if, they can prescribe me some medication that's not quite as expensive. Right? Because, I can't afford to pay $150 in medication every month. And doctor's visits and shit. Come on now. We're looking at $200 right there. Trying to go out here and take a walk because I've already taken my walk on the treadmill this morning. So if they're taking away the penny, then how come gasoline is $2.49 a gallon? That doesn't make any sense to me. We should only be seeing nickels and dimes. If they're removing the penny off of the market, because that just leads me to believe that they're rounding up, and they're trying to make it seem like, well, you should know that they're rounding up, but then for every half. For every 1/10, for every penny that they don't have to declare, let's keep it real, for every penny that they don't have to declare, they're going to get away with not paying taxes, because for the tax purposes, they're going to round down, right? They're going to round down to 5 cents, right? But when they charge you, they're going to round up. Somebody needs to sort you out. Yeah, shout out to Sanctuary Ivan. I used to, when I was younger, like around 30, something like that. There was this young Puerto Rican guy who worked at a bank, right? And he was was like damn near, anywhere from 6 to 10 years younger than me. I can't remember. But oh my gosh, he was just really trying to date me. And that was back in the day when we used to go to the bank, right? And actually deal with tellers. Not like, it is now, where you can just go in any ATM, shoot, you don't even have to do the ATM now. You could do your banking right from your phone, right? So yeah, look at that. That gasoline right there is $2.99. So we'll be able to just see whole numbers in a minute. Wouldn't that be nice? Instead of that, whatever, we just see $3. Oh yeah, they took their. Oh no, they didn't take their sign down. This was a place that advertised that they had homes available as low as $660 a month. Okay. Now to get out of the incremental weather that we got here in Texas, it would be worth it to try to get in there if you can. So hopefully, my ears will stop popping and my sinuses will clear out. Because I ran out of the mist that I was using. Now the spray mist was better than the Vicks, or this Vicks. Well, this isn't really Vicks. This is just a vapor inhalator. And it's better than nothing. Okay, it's better than nothing. But the liquid form is better than this, right? And we already told you that Vicks is $6.50, right? Even at the Dollar Tree, right? I still can't smell my food, right? I still can't smell fragrances. Every now and then I can get a hint, just a hint of smelling. And like I said, and because you can't smell, it makes it really hard to even taste. So I am going to go to the Dollar Tree and see about buying some spray mist. I bought some of the saline at the Dollar Tree, right? I seen it was available at CVS, the saline solution, right? But for whatever reason, it just doesn't seem like it works. It doesn't feel like it works. So I'm gonna go here and see about getting some spray. Let's go. Maybe a doggy treat or a toy. So I asked how much this candy was in the Dollar Tree, right? And they were like, there's a scanner in the aisle. We don't know how much it is. You can scan it yourself, right? Now, they would have been pissed off if I would have put that on the conveyor and then asked them to take it off and tell them, no, I don't want that. Right? But I was like, well, I really don't need the candy anyway, so it don't even matter if the candy was just $1.50. It doesn't even matter. Right? Because I still have a little bit of the chocolate caramel bark. Right? Cookie bark, cracker bark, however you want to say it. Still have some of that at the house. Not much left, but I still have some. Some that's left. So, what I ended up getting out of the Dollar Tree was this toy here for Gracie. Then I also got some rawhide chews, right? Some rawhide chews. And then I got me 2 of these sprays, these nasal sprays. These are the ones that I said are better than the vapor thing when it comes to like clearing up the congestion inside of my sinuses. Now, the vapor mix, right? The vapor mix. Let me show you. This, right? This is better than nothing, right? As far as like breathing. As far as like breathing. So, oh my gosh, you know, riding a e-bike is almost like riding a motorcycle, right? And I was gonna let this guy on his e-bike go ahead of me because I'm like, it ain't gonna take you no time at all to cross the intersection. But he's down here riding on his e-bike in some Christmas pajama bottoms. Okay, so this guy is either in alternative school or is already out of school. Because school is not out yet. It's barely 2:30. Whew.